as time flies by, you'll open up your eyes wide. You feel it's gonna go your way. Hey, hey, it's a brand new day. Hey, 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 it's a brand new day.
It's summer, and so what better way to start chatting with the lovely Charmaine Arbouin, our British Consul, our leader. Hello, Charmaine, welcome back.
Thank you for having me again.
My pleasure. It's always nice to catch up what's going on regarding the British community from someone who obviously gets to see just everything. It must be mind-blowing, Charmaine, the things that come into your day to day.
Yeah, and the summer is when we kind of really take off, because through the winter it's mostly residents, and as we know, most of our residents in Spain are kind of very well behaved, but as we head into the summer we get the big tourist season, and so we have lots and lots of new cases coming in at this time of year.
What are the most typical things that happen to the tourist community? What are the things that they call on you for most?
I would say that probably the most common thing that we get are people who have lost their passports or their passports have been stolen. The most common, I don't know whether people would recognise this, but the most common place for people to lose their passport is the airport.
You're joking?
No, the airport. So it
Is that because while they're doing their things, or people are actually stealing them at the airports?
It's not stealing, it's people just misplace them. One of the things, I think what happens is people have their passports on them as they come through passport control, and then as they get to the carousels to pick up their luggage, maybe they've not put it away very carefully, and then of course they don't necessarily notice until several days later, and sometimes until just before they're returning home. So one of our big messages to people, and if you've travelled through the airport and you have to go pick up luggage, you may well have seen that on the big display boards there are often prevention messages, warning messages, sort of saying to people, look after your passport. At the end of the day, the British are not as fortunate as the Spanish. We don't have any other form of ID. It's the only legal form of ID that you have in Spain. So it's worth looking after it very carefully, because if you need to replace it, and if you need to replace it at very short notice, you can do that through the consulate, but it's going to cost you the best part of €100 to do that.
But it is possible to do?
It is possible to do, but it's only valid for one journey.
So it will get you home to then go and carry on. It's an emergency flying document.
It's an emergency travel document. And you still have to apply for your full validity passport afterwards, which is costs you less. I think a full validity passport's about £80 or something like that. So our advice to people is, with passports, kind of treat them as if they were money, you know. They're very valuable. I know that we take them for granted, but in Spain, if you're asked for ID, the passport is actually your only legal form
It must have a photographic ID.
Yes, it's your only legal form of identification. And also, if you don't have a passport, people hear all sorts of things. You can travel back on a police report. Sometimes airlines will let you do that, I have to be honest. Sometimes if you've travelled out on a package tour, the tour operators may be particularly helpful, and they may help you to get back without having an emergency travel document. But there's always the risk that you will be stopped at the border and that you will not be allowed to travel. £100 is a lot of money to pay for one journey.
Free taxi 4 times a month and 25% discount on your car insurance if you're the Zero Hero.
Yeah, I'm here in Marbella, but it says here I'm in La Canada.
If you haven't mastered the lingo, don't worry. Linear Director has a free GPS geolocator service that will come and find you.
If you are a business that sells drinks, a bar, a restaurant, and you want to participate in the Zero Hero Linea Directa sponsorship that offers free soft drinks to all designated drivers at your bar, you can sign up to Linea Directa and get involved. Please do get involved, because it's a wonderful thing to keep our roads safe here. The Zero Hero program, as I said, offers free soft drinks to all designated drivers, and if you are with the Linea Directa, and if you choose to be part of these wonderful collection of restaurants, you get free promotion here from me or from Nicole, and you will appear on our website, and it's just a wonderful thing to be part of. So do make sure to contact Linea Directa and make sure to be part of the Zero Hero program.
Do you have to go to, like in the old days, we'd have to go to Malaga to fill out paperwork and things like that? Can you do this online nowadays?
You can do it online.
Yay!
Yeah, you can do it
Progress.
online. So in actual fact, Malaga has been piloting, the consulate in Malaga has been piloting online ETD. So the application, you just go onto gov.uk and put in passport, and it will tell you how to apply for an emergency travel document. You can do it all online, you can pay online, you can upload your photograph online, you can do the application. This is if your application is straightforward, so there are no complications about it. And now we can even courier to you if there's enough time. So if you know with 3 or 4 days notice, if you're, for instance, in Soto or Marbella and you don't really want to go into Malaga to pick it up, we can arrange there's a fee, I don't remember what it is, maybe 15 euros, and you can have it couriered and brought to you at your hotel or to your home or wherever.
So if it does go wrong, all the commodities, but it's going to cost you money, and obviously the process, the hassle, etc.
Yeah, we prefer it doesn't go wrong.
Do people have to make a denuncia when they lose their passport? Is that essential?
Yeah, I mean, it's quite interesting because if you lose your passport, you don't have to do a denuncia because there's no crime has taken place, you've simply lost it. If your passport's defaced, you don't have to do a denuncia. But if your passport is stolen, you should always go to the police. 2 reasons for this. One, for safety reasons. Your passport is a document, it's a valuable document. I don't know if people have seen, quite often there are articles that show you which is the most valuable passport in the world. And the British passport is up there in the top 5, I think it is. It's very desired by terrorists and criminals. Yeah. So if your passport is stolen, you should report it as stolen.
But even that, based on that, even if you've lost it, if it was to then turn up in the wrong hands,
you probably should.
You probably should just then denounce anyway, based on what you're saying with that desirability of having the British passport.
I mean, the other thing is for your own, for yourself as a traveller. Most people, I'm sure that everybody that knows anybody that travels to Spain, I'm absolutely certain that they will all take out travel insurance. If you've taken out your travel insurance and your passport is stolen, if you have a police report, you can often claim the money back for your emergency travel document and your replacement passport. So it's always worth reporting it.
This travel insurance, the way you said that tongue-in-cheek, that everyone's got their travel insurance, a lot of people opt not to, but they don't realise that the British Consul, for example, is there to help you, to guide you, but they're not there to pay for you. You really need to be covered in your own right when you travel.
Yeah, I mean, we will hardly ever part with money for people. So, I mean, that's basically the government's line on everything, as we know. What we can do is we can help you to get in touch with other people who might be able to help you out, your friends, your family, whatever. Travel insurance, I know nobody wants to think, at the time that you're booking a holiday, no one wants to think that anything's going to go wrong and that they're going to need insurance. It's well worth doing. I'll give you an example. If you fall and you break your hip, for instance, and you might be able to get, you will, if you've got your European health insurance card. Let's talk about the EHIC. Yeah, we can talk about that as well. But that only covers emergency treatment. So if you needed help to get back to the UK, and you won't be allowed, I mean, you won't be, a broken hip is not something that you won't be able to get onto a plane like an ordinary person with a broken hip. There will have to be special arrangements put in place. That can cost you up to £15,000.
Wow.
Yeah? So you think of your travel insurance, what, 20, 40, £50? It's certainly well worth it. The things that I would say to people is check, when we often have people who've taken out travel insurance, but even though they've taken out their travel insurance, it's not valid for whatever happens to them. So read the print of your insurance document.
Something you've mentioned was, don't lie. If you lie on it, then you're not covered by anything.
So if you have a pre-existing condition, so if you have a heart problem or anything, declare it. Don't say that you don't have it, because if you then fall back on that insurance policy and they find out that you had a pre-existing condition and you didn't declare it, the insurance is null and void. They will not pay out. Yeah. Make sure that your insurance covers you for all of the activities that you're likely to be doing. Quite often we go on holiday and we're going to do a little bit of bungee jumping, or we're going to do, you know, or in the winter you might come and you might go skiing,
or
in the
skiing, whatever. Yeah.
And I know this probably doesn't apply to your viewers, but it's that time of year when lots of us have family and friends that are coming out. So make sure that they have taken out health insurance, because if they haven't taken out the insurance, it can soon be incredibly expensive.
And emergencies are that. They're not things that we're planning for.
Exactly.
They're things that just happen. So it's very important that we do get prepared for that. Another thing, talking about with tourists, we tend to rent cars. This can make us quite a target, particularly nowadays that the actual rent-a-cars advertise themselves, so they're very noticeable and detectable. How can we protect ourselves as a tourist in that respect?
Well, it's quite interesting, because I'm just going to blow our trumpet a little bit from the consulate. So lots of people know that we deal with emergency travel documents and we help people if they're in hospital or if they get arrested. Most people don't know that we do a lot of prevention work as well. So it's great that we're here to help people if something goes wrong, but actually what we prefer is that the thing didn't go wrong in the first place. Yeah. So hire cars is a really good example. As you say, most companies now have the sticker, which makes it very obvious that it's a hire car. There was an incredible increase in the number of tourists who were being robbed on the roadside, because, I mean, we've probably all heard of it, somebody sort of driving up at the side of you and beeping their horn and saying, you've got a flat tyre, you've got a flat tyre, and of course you pull over, you stop. And whilst they're being really helpful and helping you to look at your tyre, their friend has gone into your car, has emptied your glove compartment, has taken out your passports, money, whatever. Our advice is, if you are in any doubt about the state of your vehicle, don't pull over just on the side of the road. Make sure that you get to a petrol station or somewhere where there are other people around. Yeah. Make sure that you lock your car whenever you leave the car. Yeah. Don't leave. There are other things as well. Don't leave any valuables. It's obvious. Don't leave any valuables in sight. But we quite often do it. We'll have people that come over. People, for instance, who have a second home here, and the first thing they're going to do is they're going to go to the supermarket to get their shopping, and they're going to go to IKEA to get this, and they're going to go to Leroy Merlin, and then they have all of this other stuff that's in the back of their car, and they couldn't get the parcel shelf down, and so their things are on view to anybody. IKEA is one of the places where there are thieves around, and they're sort of, you know, it doesn't take 2 minutes to smash a car window and help yourself. So if you have a car and you are doing that, please make sure that none of your goods are in sight. Please make sure that you don't leave any valuables in your glove compartment. Yeah. And make sure that you're parked in a space that is very visible to other people. I don't know about you, but I try and park so that nobody's going to bang my car when they open the door. It's better that they bang your car, actually, than that they, you know, your hire car's insured. It's better that you know, than that something happens and they take all of your valuables and spoil the rest of your holidays. So there are a number of car hire companies that we've been working with to try and get them to promote those safety messages for people.
Yeah, and also talking about car parks of places, the supermarket, especially we've got four-door cars, we women get in the car, we tend to fling our handbag in the back, and if the doors are open, while you're organising and your handbag's in the back, they just open the back door and take it, or putting stickers on your back window, so when you go to reverse, you leave the car running, get out to take it away, and then they take your car. We really need to have our wits about us. Well, Charmaine, I think we've covered the basics of tourists, but we've got a lot more to talk about, so we're going to wind up on this one. Any last message for those people watching us in the hotels now and those tourists who are following the show that they should be aware of?
Or anybody that's got family and friends coming, look after your passport, make sure you've got your European health insurance card. Even if you come on holiday and you don't have it now, you can still go online and do it whilst you're on your holiday. So do it, it's worth doing. And make sure that you have some insurance. Yeah, they're really the
Look after
top
yourself,
things.
as Charmaine was saying, that tourists are targets because we're distracted and other people are taking advantage of that. The same thing when you're out in a club or a bar having a drink. Never leave your drink unattended. Watch your things and watch your back.
Yeah.
And have a nice holiday.
Yeah, and actually it is a nice place to be on holiday. So
Isn't
enjoy
it just? It's a
Yeah.
nice place not to be on holiday
And
as well.
don't come and visit me at the consulate.
Thanks, Charmaine.
Welcome.